Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And thank you for clicking on this one. So today I wanted to talk about something that's I feel like it's a little touchy, so I'm going to try my best to explain this in the simplest way that I have observed. The internet, social media, connecting with other people, influencers, a lot of people have done a lot of amazing things, artistic things, creative things to, at the end of the day, the goal I know came from a good place to inspire all of us to what is possible, what is available to us, and what we all have the ability to create in our own lives, whether it be through lifestyle, relationship, health goals, health and wellness, the natural hair movement. I remember when I got hip to first seeing different blogs and different women just sharing their, teeny weeny afros, their big chops, all the things. You're like, wow, this is just, this woman is all the way in Chicago, and yet everything that she's sharing I can relate with and I can try or look into, because she has inspired me to do so and to further educate myself and try this product and talk to my hairstylist about this and that. And at the end of the day, it always came back to inspiring others, especially women, sharing the information and being transparent. And then after a while, we saw it get a little spammy, get a little salesy, get a little grimy when you found out that people weren't who they said they were. They were taking advantage of people's not only kindness, but their the favor that they had, the influence that they had. You saw people really finding out people's true intentions and character. And then you got into this thing where you had some people really struggling with how their own lives looked and felt and what they were seeing on these different platforms. And that is what I wanted to talk about today. When it comes to motherhood, when it comes to relationships, specifically pertaining to Black women, especially millennials, especially if you're pushing 40, especially if you have already found yourself as a mom with no man, or it's just not looking like you thought it was going to look, when you were coming into adulting altogether. And what I want to say to that is you have to stop. You have to stop now comparing what you see on TikTok, what you see on Instagram as couple goals, mommy life, a day in the life, and all these different things that are not there. It's art. It's just something fun to do. You don't know how many takes it took. You don't know how many times, they had to get it right to show us something that's super perfect. You don't know how, and it's not about looking at everything and saying, oh, I know it's not all cracked up to be either. There's a balance here. But you don't come from a place where if you watch me and you say, oh, wow, it must be nice, because blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hold on now. Reality versus social media. Not so much that it's not the truth, not that, some work had to be put into it, but it takes time. Okay, so let me get back to relationships. Okay, so your man doesn't make TikToks with you and dance around, doesn't, do voiceovers and funny little skits with you. He doesn't communicate the best. You think he could listen more. He leaves his socks on the floor. He leaves the toilet seat up. He, I don't know. He doesn't buy you a dozen roses. He doesn't just wake up and say, here, baby, here's a credit card. Who was that? What's another example? Whatever. But that doesn't mean that is going to now be your not goalpost, but your what you're looking for, what you need, what is this is a YouTube video, baby. Okay, bye-bye. What you expect. What's the most important thing? because that's not reality. What I have found when it comes to social media and reality is that the type of men that I respect, the type of men that show up as fathers, as stepfathers, as providers, as a head of household, as leaders, as visionary, do not have the type of entertainment preferences that have anything to do with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, and all that stuff. They're also not, spend a lot of idle time just doing things that don't add up to anything. So no, my fiance is not into YouTube, aside from maybe looking up a type of motorcycle and a recipe. That's it. He's not in these, he doesn't even know that there's a whole world of Kevin Samuels and all these different men that just sit around and talk about women all day. And dating and relationships. Now, again, props to the men that are leaders that want to come on and so good and protect Black women, protect the value of marriage and the way it's supposed to be, protect the continuation of the man's role in the Black community, to children that aren't necessarily his, to being a mentor and a pillar in the community, to men that are coaches and big brothers and are involved in their local church and community and whatever. Big up to men that get on social media and they don't talk about women and what's wrong with us. They talk to men and other Black men about what they need to do to step up to the plate, what they feel God has called them to do and how God has called them to lead, what it is to be a man, what it is to be God-fearing, and on and on and on. Shout out to them. Okay, they're using YouTube and Instagram and these different platforms to spread good, to educate, not have these debates and these wars with other women, tearing me down, telling me what's wrong with me, all up in my business. So we have to be careful when we consume and internalize things that should be purely entertainment, and mull and stew and regurgitate these things inside us, and then turn it into like what we're lacking and we're not seeing these type of men in real life. It's just not looking like that for me, and that's not necessarily how it always is. Not that these things aren't possible, but you have to make sure you're not being confused and between the two, reality versus social media. And I've seen these little clips, not even about relationships and stuff, but it'll be some beautiful set, and then they show you, okay, you see this, but on the back end it took all of these different moving pieces. Yes, baby, this is a YouTube video. All right, okay, it's okay. All the moving pieces it took to create the look. Oh, let me tell you another example. These beautiful girls that show their outfits, and then the clips of them walking or coming out of a luxury store or eating or whatever. And who do you think is behind the camera? Either a best friend, the child, or their man. Okay, no, take it again. I don't like that video. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, no, let's do it again. Unless they're hiring a professional. My fiance's good about, okay, baby, can you take a picture of us? Okay, great. But he's not going to do 20 takes. He's going to be like, okay, I got it. Here you go. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Or if we take pictures together, he don't smile. But he just there, So, all of this stuff, we have to just kind of let's be realistic. And then when you're out in the world and you see someone making TikToks, or you're like, look. You get a little chuckle because they're like, They're in the middle of the store, they're in the middle of a parking lot, doing their little thing. So I'm not against content creation. I'm not against, showing, hold on, I want to sip on my stuff. Showing Black love and, inside our homes and all the little things, little funny things that couples do. It's not even that. I just think you have to be careful when you start comparing yourself in an unrealistic way, and then being down on yourself that either you're single or you're alone and you don't have that, and you think that that's how it is 24/7 when you do get a partner, especially if you live together. Or that the negative things or the hurtful things or the very highly opinionated things that are being circulated is how people think in the real world. Because on these screens, there's a lot of boldness and rah, 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 rah. I don't know what that was, but it's just the bravado, But then in real life, it's not like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like that. Now let me set the stage for this example. Okay, so you see me, and I go out, and I go to the bar. Now, I don't have my kids with me, so they don't know that I'm a single mom. They don't know anything about me. They don't know my age. They don't know my mindset. They don't know my spiritual views. They don't know my background. They don't know my story. They don't know whether I have a degree or not. They don't know how much money I make. They don't know what my goals are. They don't know anything about me. You have several different types of men, and they say, hey, in their own little way, can I buy you a drink? Or is this seat taken? Or whatever little one-liners they come up with. And again, and in the same token, I don't know anything about them. I don't know if he is the type of man that thinks that he should have access to my body on the first night because he bought me a $20 drink. I don't know if this man has children that he's taking care of responsibly on his own, or someone had to drag him and put him on child support because he's not reliable. I don't know if this man lives in his mama's basement. I don't know if he has his own business, or if he's successful, or if he's a six-figure earner. And even if he does have money, is he generous? Is he kind? Does he love his mother? Does he love his sister? We don't know any of these things in this moment of that first interaction. But what we do know is each other's that first impression, that, I get a vibe from you. It's something about you. Either it's confidence or it's insecurity. Either it's a sense of self, or it's, this neediness. Either you guys are going to mesh well, or you're going to repel each other. And so in real life, no one's like, hey, so let's get this out the way. Bought you a drink. Let's get down to business. You got kids. You got a baby daddy. Are you married? Even if you weren't married, I still want to smash. I'm just looking for something to hit and quit it. Look, I make money, but I don't spend money on women like that. So I'm just that dude. I expect this, I expect that. They don't lay all their trash out on the bar or in a setting like that. Everyone has this representative in this, this what they want to exude, what they want to be known as. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would want to be respected, taken seriously. I want to exude that I'm no nonsense. I have standards. I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not here to take care of a grown man. I'm not here to do any of these things. We can talk. We can have a good time. But I am very guarded, and you would have to work really, really hard to get to know the real me. Months and months and months, several dates, lots of conversation, lots of spending time together, lots of, it's an unfolding. You don't get all the best of me by the third date. And so what I'm saying is that is the reality. But on social media, they will have you thinking that these dudes just sit you down and check you off like a checklist, and write you off if, you're not their cup of tea. And it's just not like that. Now, let's say someone says, I really enjoy just, chopping it up with you. And if don't mind if I say, you are so beautiful. Do you mind if I call you sometime? If it's not too forward, if you don't have a man, do you? I can decide then and there, yay or nay. And then, he will proceed to want to get to know the real me, as they say. And do you think after all of that, he would be like, if I did choose to say, to share, I have children, I'm in healthcare, I'm working, I'm doing these, whatever, further down the line, he would then be like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm the kind of guy that I'm not trying to take on anybody else's baggage. Y'all black women, I need a woman that's, not used up, high body count, and, got her own, she independent, she not taking care of a whole bunch of kids, blah, 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 blah. Even if he felt that way, he would be more hard-pressed to act on his initial, like, well, she's got kids, but she's still cool, and I'm already enjoying to get to know her, so I'm not gonna lean into that. I'm not gonna care about that. I know that's what I thought I said I would feel when I'm talking to my boys, and they on the internet, talking about this stuff, but I've met someone who's different, and whatever. And you ask me how I know. Because people in real life act like they have some damn sense based on how you think about yourself, how you show up, how you feel about yourself, and the vibe that you give off naturally. The things that you talk about. You're different. You're not like a baby mama that he saw off of some hood film that patting her bonnet and got a whole bunch of kids running around with, diapers and dirty onesies, and she's on food stamps and welfare, and, walking around with slippers and just a hot mess, all the stereotypical ghetto mama, baby mama, whatever. He's like, wow, you know what I mean? But on the internet, they got all these women sweating like all these black men are just, thinking this and acting like that. Again, let me rephrase. Even if you dodge a bullet like that, and he'll have enough sense to not show his ass. It'll just be like, yeah, she's cool. She's cool. You know what I mean? She's cool people. And you'll say, it was great getting to know you, And you can end it like that. But it's not going to be this debate, and I need to understand what you have a problem with, and I thought this, that, and the other. I paint that long picture because so much is being said and spewed and regurgitated, and it doesn't make what's really happening in the real world seem possible, or even like, okay, well, you just got lucky, or whatever. You're different. It's not really out here like that. But also too, it's getting you. You're so in your head, you're scared, and so you might not be trying in the right way. You might not be confidently being who you are and moving in a way where you're not speaking or acting through the lens of everything you saw on social media, even if you are going out and doing things and meeting certain types of people. Wow, I'm at 20 minutes. I hate when I do that. So, to reiterate, I want to challenge you to either take a break from the certain content that you're consuming that makes you feel inadequate and makes you feel like you have to constantly be competing against something or someone or chasing something that isn't real. And number two, edit, do a cleanse, do a social media cleanse, or take a break altogether, a hiatus. You don't have to delete anything, but just log out and get in the real world and focus on you feeling your best, looking your best, enjoying your life, spending time with all the things that I talk about on this channel. All the things I talk about on this channel. And take time to see if you don't feel a change and see a change when you do meet someone new or someone approaches you, or you're in a situation where you think, okay, this can go left or right, and it's just a normal interaction. No one is looking at you sideways like you got three heads because, you and the kids are at a jazz festival. Oh, look, it's a black single mother. I'm telling you, the statistics are running wild. This bitch thinks she can just go anywhere and do anything. She probably here off of, she get that government check. What the hell is she doing here? I don't know. Whatever you think that people say about single mothers showing up in the world, it's like a unicorn, you know what I mean? It's just not true. I'll never forget one time I was in the nail salon, the girls and I were getting our nails done, and this guy was like, excuse me, these your daughters? I'm like, no. I'm just hanging out with these two little munchkins that kind of resemble me. I've had mixed. Some people say they look like their dads, and some people say, oh, I see you, they look like you. Or they have your personality or whatever. Or from the hair down, they look like you. So he says, can I have your number? And I was like, thank you so much. I'm so flattered, but I don't know. And he was like, well, look, take my business card. If you ever just think of me, give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. And here's some money for you and your little ones. Your nails are on me today. And I could not believe that man gave me, it was like $70. This was years ago, which, the prices have gone up. I can spend that now on a set. Now, if I get a reshape, gel, and a fill. But anyway, that was enough that day for all of us because I got their little nails painted too. And I know it's not a lot of money, but it was just the fact that there was nothing attached to his kindness. It was nothing attached to, the money or anything. And he didn't like, well, fuck you, bitch, because I ain't want your funky ass anyway, with you little ratty, rugrat looking kids, you know what I mean? Because I turned him down initially. He didn't lose his shit and get all disrespectful. He gave me the money and he laughed. I'll be in the store and somebody says, oh, excuse me, your daughters are so beautiful. How are you doing? I don't mean to impose, but do you have a second? Are you talking to someone? Are you seeing someone? All the damn time. I be minding my own business in Target, at the mall. And I'm not saying this to brag on myself. I'm saying this because I know that I don't exude the type of energy that I'm ashamed of my children, that I care what people think, that I feel like there's no good men in the world. I'm unlovable. I'm undeserving. And because I have children that I didn't make on my own, mind you, I am, I have this scarlet A. We all know the story. And they see my ring. They don't care. One guy was like, oh, you can't have friends. What that mean? You can't have friends. I was like, oh, no, sir. We not doing this. Bold. Last note, I'm not the only content creator that touched on the Dr. Umar Johnson's reaction to that interview that he did. But I will say, pulling away from the woke community in that whole world, I used to be a huge fan of his. Not huge fan, but I definitely was hip to like a lot of the things that he said. But I pulled away from that world because it's a time and place, and I outgrew a lot of those circles. But that's neither here nor there. I did respect and appreciate him defending Black women, Black mothers, because I think he made a very valid point. People forget just how women had to do what they're doing because the Black man wasn't present, or they were away or in jail, or they were just bums. And a lot of women are coming into this new information of how to properly vet a man, how to know if he's about anything. Sometimes, we're young and dumb and it's too late and you get knocked up. Because we don't do this to ourselves. So then when he's all flaky and we got to do what we got to do, you know, it's not the time to crawl in a hole and cry. You put on the pants and you do the damn thing. And my father was raised by a woman who was an RN, and who she raised all 4 of her kids, 3 sons and a daughter. All her sons were men. All her sons knew how to love a woman and support a woman, whether they had the best relationships and whether, you know, that's neither here nor there, but they were raised by a strong, independent black woman who kept food on the table and did what she had to do in a time where, you know, it was very different. The black relationships, black marriages look very, very different. So, you know, I think people forget the math. Like, single mothers just don't crawl out the gutters, you know. Where are the men that made us single mothers? Y'all talk to them, and we'll focus on our own stuff. We already know we need. We're already working on us. You know, our own self-development, our own self-love, our own self-care, our own embetterment with these kids. So, you know, I've never spoken ill against the black man, but I recognize that there's some out here that just a little too loosey-goosey, but that's all they've got. But the real men are less talk and more action. And the real men defend your honor, your worthiness, and they will elevate you, and they will support you, and they will love you. And so no matter what you think is real on social media, you will feel and know, you know, what you have, and you know, life goes on. But like I said, take those breaks, pull away a little bit, focus on creating the life that you want and you desire. And yeah, let everything else fall into place. Thank you for watching this one. I know this was a little long, a little wordy, but I kind of touched on a couple of layered things. But I hope that video made sense to you all. Thank you for watching as always. And until the next one, peace. Bye.